Welcome to the Lauren Blackwell channel. Did you guys notice the absence of Jeff Bezos' kids at his wedding? So when I saw the pictures of all of the guests, the multi-millionaire guests that were at Jeff Bezos' and Lauren Sanchez's wedding, I noticed that I do not see Jeff Bezos' kids anywhere in the pictures, and there was nothing about them in the blogs. And I was wondering why, although it made sense to me that they wouldn't be there. Since Jeff Bezos actually was rumored, I don't know this to be true, this is alleged, but he was rumored to have been unfaithful to his wife when they were married with Lauren. And it makes sense that even though he has a good relationship with his ex now, I doubt that their relationship is to the point where she would attend his wedding, because they were married for many years. They have many children together, and unlike the average person, they built a lot together. A lot. And for the marriage to have ended at all, and in the way that it ended, plus the way that Jeff and Lauren have been flaunting this relationship of theirs, I'm not surprised that Mckenzie will decide to stay away from the wedding, because some people attend their ex's wedding, especially if they have a good relationship with them, which Mckenzie is rumored to have a good relationship with Jeff. But still, she was absent from the wedding, and I think that they're not quite there yet where she would attend his wedding. I have also heard rumors that Jeff is closer now to Lauren's children than he is to his own children. There are rumors that he attends their school functions, graduations, etc., and they spend more time at his place than his own children do. Mckenzie got full custody of the children, but that does not mean that Jeff, if he wanted to, cannot have a closer relationship with his kids. So I think because the kids are not super young anymore, they can kind of think for themselves, and I'm sure they understand what may have happened in their parents' marriage. So it's possible that they decided by themselves to keep their distance from their dad out of respect for their mother, or possibly because they do not agree with the way that he treated their mother. The singer Brian McKnight comes to mind when I think about this, because he did something similar by being closer to his stepson than he is to his biological children. So I'm not saying that their issues are parallel, because Brian McKnight and his kids have a lot of issues, but they're kind of doing the same thing, and I'm not sure why some dads do this. But I do have some theories though, and here's the first one. So my first theory is that a lot of men, when they have a negative relationship with their children and they split from their ex, the kid's mother, they try to stick it to the children. If the children chooses the side of their mother, they get angry. They try to take it out on the children by being very obvious that they prefer their stepchildren, even though they don't really do. I doubt that there's any love in this kind of behavior, but the men will go out of their way to buy gifts for the new child or for the stepchildren, as if to make their biological children regret their decision. I do not put that past some men, especially the ones that go online on the internet and to voice how much they love and prefer their stepchildren. So I think that's one reason. Another thing is some men, especially men like Jeff Bezos, family is important to him. A lot of billionaires, family is important to them. It's important to their reputation. It is important to their name. It's actually a more favorable status for them to be in than to be single. It's just a more respectable thing in the circles that they move around. So he's going to do everything to be a part of that family unit. So if his children chooses his mother, his ex Mackenzie's side, and they live with her or spend most of the time with her and are closer to her, he is going to try to replace them some way so that he is not without that family unit, and he's going to use his stepkids to do that. So he still has the family unit, even though he has kind of lost his own family. Another reason I think they do this, and this applies more to men with less resources, is that the men that are closer to their stepkids, they have less responsibility because they're the step parent, and they abdicate themselves of their responsibility of their own children, while at the same time being a part of their stepkids but assuming less responsibility. So they get to eat their cake and still have it. So not only do they no longer worry about any children as much as they would if they lived with their biological children, they no longer have the responsibility, right? But they look like good parents because they still have their stepkids in their life, filling that role and helping them look good. So a lot of men, they like to, it's almost like playing dress up or pretending to be a dad when you're not really being a dad, because they would abandon their own children and the responsibilities that comes with taking care of their own biological children. So they relieve themselves of that responsibility, and then they have all of this free time, and whenever they feel like it, they would do something small for their stepkids, or they will take pictures and do as little as they can, because a lot will not be demanded from them from their current partner, because they did not have the child with their partner. So yeah, they get to shed the responsibility of parenthood while still pretending to be parents, which is the most annoying thing about this. So I think that is a few of the reasons why these men act this way. It is very strange to me. As far as I'm concerned, if a man can not have his children in his life and go about life and be fine and live his best life without having the responsibility of his children, no matter how close he seems to his stepchildren, in my opinion, he's just acting. He's not being honest. He just wants the accolades that comes with fatherhood without the real responsibilities, because even if the men are doing stuff to help the stepchildren, they feel less responsible. So they do things at their own whim, and the partners will not hold them as accountable as they will hold the biological father of their kids accountable. So it's like a win-win for them. It's a lazy way to parent, because you do things when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it, you don't, and then you just get to skate by and pretend that you're a father when you're not. So yeah, this is what I think. However, as far as the kids not attending the wedding, I kind of have a lot of respect for them for doing that. If I were in their shoes, I would just call maybe their dad and Lauren and congratulate them on their upcoming wedding. As in, I would call them before the wedding to congratulate them, but I will also let them know that I will not be attending and not necessarily going into details. I think that's the best way to handle this kind of situation, because if they attended the wedding, I am sure that Mckenzie will feel a certain way about it, because she's not gonna go, and then she's gonna be at home on that day thinking about her ex getting married to someone else. It's gonna be a painful thing, you know. So some kids respect their mothers enough to not put her through certain situations, And even without her having to ask, sometimes children would just do what they believe is right. Because look at Prince William. To this day, he does not acknowledge the woman that ruined, in their minds, their mother's marriage, right? Even though their dad plays a significant role in this, none of this would happen if he did not allow it. But I'm sure they do hold her responsible as well, and they still do not give her all of the respect that she believes that she deserves, because certain things they have to do out of the their respect to their mother. And so certain things they're just not going to do without being told. So I feel like that may be the same circumstance here, and they decided to skip the wedding, which I respect them for, honestly. The whole thing was kind of a circus, not the wedding itself, but other things surrounding the wedding, and the way they just kind of prance around. He's always holding her hand up, and it's like a lot of it just seems so performative. The wedding itself, I thought the pictures that I saw looked beautiful. Her dress was pretty. I didn't think that the dress really represented her personality, though. I feel like she was being more conservative than she really is, just because of the kinds of look that she goes for. On every other occasion, this wedding, and even all the other outfits that she wore on that day and the days surrounding the wedding, they were all very demure and very conservative, probably because of all the guests that's gonna be there. I don't know. I'm not sure why she decided to be so conservative, but she went for that look. The dress was pretty. She looks nice in it. I just don't think it reflects her real personality, you know. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I was just curious as to why I didn't see any of Mckenzie's children there. They have a lot of kids together, and not a single one of them attended that I saw. I don't know, maybe they just kept a low profile, but I did not see them there, and I was just curious and thought I make this video about it. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next one. Bye guys.